Hi guys, so it's Christina from the Abhyasa Yoga Institute, and we're going to be discussing the asanas and the 200-hour yoga teacher training manual. And we'll start today with Tadasana. Tadasana is the mountain pose. Tada means mountain, asana means posture, and so the principles of alignment that we discover and that we master in this very simple pose translate throughout many different postures. So this is really important to not underemphasize and to integrate very deeply. Okay, so we'll start. Traditionally, Tadasana is done with the feet hip width apart. So we find hip width by tracing the lines of our pelvis, the bones, to the front, and the bony crest that comes around to the front of the body, the iliac crest, we can line our hands up with parallel to one another and vertical. And if you sight down each hand, you align your foot centered beneath each hand. Now take a look at your feet. Get the grass off my body. You want the inner lines of your feet parallel to one another. Understanding that the body's not linear, of course the body has curves, but as closely as possible, align the inside of your feet parallel to one another, hip width apart. To correct postural deviations in the body, we tend to have habits. We stand more on one foot than the other, and we tend to stand more in the balls of the feet or the heels. So figure out what kind of person you are. Close your eyes for a moment, stand fairly naturally, and feel where more weight is registering down through your feet. Is it the ball of one foot, the heel of the other, etc.? Lift all of the toes and separate them and grab the mat with the big toes and feel how the arches of the feet engage. Now grab the mat with the rest of the toes. Start to squeeze through the calf muscles and the thigh muscles, all the way up through the buttock muscles. When we engage all of those muscles, we bring in our own natural pelvic tilt. We don't have to overemphasize this pelvic tilt. So if you have a strong arch in your low back, when you squeeze, you'll bring in a natural tilt and lift the ribs a little bit. So we're not down like this, we're up like this. Shoulders are slightly back. Your arms will rotate ever so slightly, not unnaturally. We do not have to do this in the mountain pose. Just through that natural squeeze in the legs, the buttock muscles, the natural lift in the ribs, relaxation in the shoulders, the arms will naturally start to externally rotate. Close your eyes and breathe. This is a wonderful time to feel what's going on in the body, to bring in pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses. To come into the full expression of the pose, inhale the arms out to the sides, all the way overhead. If it is available to you, interlace all fingers except index fingers and draw the elbows in toward the ears. What's important to remember about this pose is we're not lifting way up in the shoulder to find this extension. You're drawing down through the lat muscles while the arm is fully extended to place space between the shoulder and the ear. Both arms up, draw down through your wing muscles. Now, if there's in case of shoulder injury, obviously we could keep one arm down. We could also keep the arms further apart. But if it is possible, interlace all fingers except index fingers, as I was saying. Now, if that means the arms do this, or we start to do this in the pose, don't compromise the torso. Bring in that strong squeeze, that lift in the ribs, and maybe bring the arms down even to where they're straight, the Charlie's Angels hold here. And then very slowly bring your arms up and let the elbows open naturally if they want to open, until the palms are above the crown of the head. And then from there, perhaps straighten the arms. This is a full mountain pose. Aligning all of the chakras, really feeling down through the root chakra, which is the first Muladhara chakra, the legs, bones, and feet, all the way up through to the third eye and the crown. Breathe. To release this pose, you might unclasp the hands. Remain lifted through the heart as we lower the arms. Turn the palms down at the horizon and relax. And again from the side. Do your best. Remember, we're not doing any of this. We're squeezing, lifting, engage. How you release this pose is completely up to you. You might bring palms to the heart and release. You might unclasp the hands, again opening them. General rule of thumb, above the horizon, palms are up. Below the horizon, palms are down. And ease into the pose. Alignment starts with the feet. So you want to find that core structure from the big toes through the calves, thighs, to the glutes. Bring in a squeeze to root down so that you can rise up. Mountain pose is all about that anchor, that the base of the mountain is very anchored to the earth, so the rest of the mountain can rise. We're fluid and open in the upper body. Bring in a good long rhythmic breath, Ujjayi breathing or Durga Pranayama, and meditate in the pose. Okay, so those principles of alignment, very important. You can practice that with a block for new students, so that if you just put the block between the thighs above the knees and you squeeze that block, your feet will naturally find the grip into the floor or the mat or the ground. You'll find the natural grip up through the legs and your natural pelvic tilt into the core muscles of the abdomen. Beautiful. Thanks, guys.